Having a nice walk so far?
Lovely.
Good.
Stop raining? Fine.
I'm afraid you've missed most of the best watercresses. I've sold quite a lot of my basket today.
Yeah, just
been
the
quite a good day.
Still good for you though.
Very good. Means you don't need to wear spectacles anymore. Watercresses helps your sight. Watercresses helps your hair grow. Watercresses makes you strong.
Yeah, it's
There's
more
a lot
vitamins
that
in one bit of
watercresses do.
watercresses than a whole bushel
There's
of
a lot that
apples.
watercresses do.
And that is the truth.
That
Trust
is
me.
the truth. That is the truth. You're right. And what game are you in, sir? Dressed up in this queer stuff. you ain't dragging a fruit bar over cobbles in them shoes, are you? Some people got airs, ain't they?
Oh, indeed.
My family have been costermongers since always.
Costermongers is them that sell stuff on the streets of London. Some may be young boys or girls, some old, some the lame, some just plain poor. We sell whatever we can get from the sellers, sometimes flowers or watercresses.
I was down the market since I was dry, I was. My mum brung me out, snotty and freezing, bunch of cresses under one arm, me under the other, down Farringdon by 5 in the morning. She swore my first words was going to be, get your fine walnuts.
My schooling was watching my cousins boiling oranges, you know, to make them heavier. Teach me to run too, because once you sold them, you got a scarper. Because all the juice falls out of them in the boiling, they taste as rotten as old spuds.
We met, me and Maggie here, on my first day at the market. 7 I was, and terrified. And my mum had said, mind you, just get 2 pennies of cresses. But by the time I'd pushed my way to the front, they had nothing left but 2 hands of soggy brown cresses and some sorry looking sparrowgrass.
And I ran into this one, I thought, when I ran into this mucky ball of rags, I thought I'd knocked into myself running a year late. All I could do was drag her around with me and buy her a pie at the end of the day. Poor little mite didn't even have any shoes. I said, girl, get here tomorrow, no later than 5, and I'll get you to the front. Then she'll starve unless you eat that basket you're carrying. Bigger than her it was.
I wanted to buy sparrowgrass because I loved how it sounded. I had a bite of it once when I'd sold all my cresses and I had no bread. Stringy and like wood it was, nasty stuff. Still, whenever I can get some, into my basket it goes because it's always gone by noon. Don't often get sparrowgrass though. Love cowcumber.
Here, Ginny said tomorrow if I gives her 6pence, she'll give us a blessing. See, hands a measure, whoever the seller is. So always go to the seller with bigger hands, eh? What we do then is, we split it all up so we get 6 bunches, and then we can make a little bit more profit. But it's not enough to live on. So what we do is, we pull our money together and gives it to Ginny, and she'll give us about 8 extra cresses, and that's like on top. And that's a blessing, see?
What will we do tomorrow then? Finish early? 8 perhaps?
You make sure you don't drink all our profits, you.
Aye. Come on then,
If
before you'll be starting on our wares.
if you Ramble want to follow us, we'll take you to the bloke who picks the cresses.
Oh yeah, come see James.
Come on.
I suppose they've been telling you how hard their life is, eh? See, these girls, these sellers, they're city people. See, most likely come up from Farringdon or wherever they've been selling their wares. See, what ends up as lunch out there in the capital actually starts its life just here, along this river, along small beds and like the big one you got down there. Now, it's all sown, cultivated, thinned and eventually cut by blokes like me. Now, we don't get no 5 o'clock lie-in, no. We're up at 4 o'clock in the morning and we spend most of our time bent over and wet come rain or shine. Now when we get to the beds, we're down there, we're picking all the stuff up, right? Then we shift it, and then we get down and start cutting it. Oh, bloody hell, what a back. I tell you what, I feel like I'm about 80 half the time. And it's not just the pains you get in your knees and your back, you also get it in your fingers when you're bunching the flaming stuff, knowing that full well, 20 miles down the road, some lady in a dirty smock has undone all your bundles, split them and sold them off for 3 times the price. Now it's not all bad. When you get down to the station and you see all your trays lined up there, there is a sense of job satisfaction. But all those aches and pains that go into a 2-minute lunch for a cockney, I'm not entirely sure. Oh yeah, they still do it that way. Well, poor sods. You've had a short walk down the river, but look how far you've come. Right? The town you started off in doesn't even exist anymore. It's a ghost, like Mother Haggy or the Duchess. See, all the bricks are gone, but the scars are still cut into the earth. All of the trinkets the inhabitants used to wear are now safely behind glass in the museum. I mean, Verulamium is now gone, but its bones built our abbey. The empire that built it isn't there anymore, but it still exists in our language and in our culture. The Duchess, you met her earlier today. You'll be surprised the number of places she pops up in. She was a woman in a man's world, unwilling to accept any nonsense from anyone. All right? She was playing the old boys at their own game and winning. You know, this plant, it's kind of like them. It's like this city. It's like this river, okay? People take it for granted, and yet it spawned an entire industry. People's wages were based on this. There are people now who revere it, kind of like that lady who kept passing out in the jungle, as some kind of wonder drug for just about everything. Some people call it poor man's bread. Personally, I like to call it lunch, and I think mine's slightly overdue, so I'll see you lot later.